The first non-European cyclist to win one of the 5 monuments of cycling, Esteban Chaves, a small Colombian rider, surprised everyone to win the classic of climbers, the Giro di Lombardia. Do you want to know what happened during the race of the falling leaves of 2016? Follow my wheel and I'll tell you. Esteban Chaves, who's part of the golden generation of cycling in Colombia, embodies the cycling of the past, that of struggle, attack, that of the unthinkable, that of audacity, daring, and why not, suicide. The all or nothing, the one in Bogotá, personifies the fighting beetle, which is not satisfied with just a little. After his explosion in 2015, 2016 was to be Esteban Chaves' big year. He had climbed the podium of the Giro d'Italia and la Vuelta a España with incredible performances, and 7 days earlier he had managed to win the Giro d'Emilia, a prestigious Italian race that serves as a prelude to the race of the falling leaves. In this way, the small Colombian Esteban Chaves was presented as one of the top favorites to win Lombardia in 2016. Nearly 200 riders began the 241-kilometer route from Como, but only 4, Rudy Mollard and Damiano Caruso, Stephen Denifil, and Mikel Chirel, formed the day's main break. They got away fairly early on in the day and established a gap of around 4 minutes before the severity of the day began to take its toll. The constant climbs and length of the day meant it was looking extremely difficult for the break to maintain its position out front, and eventually only Mollard and Caruso were left out front as they ascended the day's toughest climb, the Válico di Valcava. It also saw much of the main peloton drop, with the bunch almost half heading towards the final 70 kilometers or so of the race. Caruso went solo ahead of Mollard as the gap began to slip, and he held out until around 40 kilometers to go, when Robert Geesink attacked to split the peloton. That key move by Geesink saw a 16-man group form of the likely favorites for the race, and was the platform that led to Chaves making the decisive move to form the final break and take victory at Lombardia. At 33 kilometers to the finish of a test in which there were 8 climbs, including the unprecedented San Antonio Abbandonato and Miraggio, Chaves, during the ascent of the Salvino, undertook the escape, in which Rigoberto Urán, the Frenchman Romain Bardet, and the Italian Rosa were put on his wheel. Diego Rosa had initially missed the move, but was able to bridge across to the Chaves group from the chasing pack of around 12 riders, with no one able to follow. The gap to the front tour quickly went up to around 44 seconds, with Movistar made to work hardest to pull things back with Giovanni Visconti and Alejandro Valverde. But with no concerted effort, the front group gradually looked set to contest the win as they stretched the gap to over a minute on the flat section between the Salvino and the final climb into Bergamo, a small wall with beastly percentages. After almost 236 kilometers of racing, the leaders made it onto the short, steep ramps of the final climb, with Chaves the most active in trying to lose his rivals. Bardet initially looked able to match the pace, as Rosa struggled, but eventually went pop in the final 12% section, and the other 3 got away from him over the summit with 3 kilometers to go. Despite a hard chase on the descent, the Frenchman was unable to regain the ground he lost, and Rosa was the first to attack from the leaders. Urán was not letting anything go through, and did much of the work to keep things together, as Chaves just sat in the wheels. That meant they arrived for the final straight together for a sprint, which looked likely to suit Urán more than Rosa or Chaves. The Astana rider went early though, and Urán made a huge effort to get back to his wheel. Chaves then launched his sprint within the last 100 meters, coming out of the wheel of Urán and catching Rosa before the line to beat him by a wheel. In this way, Esteban Chaves, the great Colombian cyclist born in Bogotá, was crowned King of Lombardia, with the honor of being the first South American cyclist to triumph in one of the 5 monuments of cycling, thus becoming an authentic legend of Colombian and world cycling. Thank you very much for getting here. If you liked the video, subscribe and click like. You can collaborate with us activating a super thank, and if you want to continue enjoying with the best cyclists in history, don't miss this.